Well, hello everyone. I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class on this beautiful day in Minnesota here. It is 11 a.m. Central Time on Wednesday, May 13th, as I'm coming to you live. The sun is shining out of my window, and I'm in, I love sharing, so I'm always in good spirits, but the sunshine just makes it even better. A big welcome to all of you. If you're a subscriber, high five. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you're new, please chime in so we can say hello to you. As we're doing the live, people can talk back and forth. You just need to be logged into your Google or YouTube account in order to do so. I also want to give a big shout out and welcome to my members of my channel. They help support me monetarily, either with the 99 cents per month or the $5.99 per month, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. And Trisha Josephs is here. Yay, she's moderating for us today on a Wednesday, which is this is where she is on Wednesdays, you guys. I just love her. I cherish her. Thank you, Trisha, for being here with us. She's here to answer questions. She has the, let's see, her name stands out differently. I have to tell you how her name stands out. I haven't looked in a while. She's got like a little, like a badge or an emblem or whatever, a shield next to her name. So she is my moderator. She's here to answer the questions, lead you in the right direction. Just a note that the description of the video also can help you out if you're looking for a link to a supply or a link to purchasing or that sort of thing. Fellow Minnesotan, yay, high five to you too, Angie. All right, so we're gonna start. We're gonna dive in and play with a kit today. It's one of my favorite times to share with all of you. I love doing alternates with kits. It's probably one of my biggest passions. I love fun folds and kit alternates. So we're gonna play around with one of the newest kits collection kits. It's called Pretty Party, and it is stunning. I mean, there's gold flecks of color all over, like shiny foiling on it. There's pastel balloons in it. I added early espresso to the cards that I'm creating so that it can kind of take on a little bit more neutral flair instead of being like, I don't want it to be super feminine. I don't want anyone to feel like they can't use it for a party for one of their kids. It's amazing. I mean, it's just a beautiful kit. So I'm going to teach you how to turn the 9 cards that you can create with this kit into 30. So we're going to more than triple the cards in the kit. Are you guys ready? All right, let's begin. Let's go to, first let's go to the computer because I want to show you a PDF that you can access now. Rachel was on the ball. And you can actually take and go to the description of the video, click on the link to the blog post, and then you can grab this PDF and follow along with me if you'd like to. We have the supplies in there. We have measurements in there for turning 3 cards into 10. If you want to do that to the whole kit, you would just do that 3 more times. Okay, so you just triple all of these numbers. You can see one image of like a pile of the cards right there. That's 3 cards into 10. So those are all 10 cards that we're going to do today. And then you can see with kit alternates, there actually is not a lot of extra supplies. Adhesives and gosh, some tools for cutting. And then I try to add in very little extra for consumable supplies so that you don't have to feel like you're spending a ton extra to make alternates with kits. So there's no die cutting, there's no embossing. It doesn't require any big tools like the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Embossing, like heat embossing, typically I keep that out too. So I try to keep it very affordable because kits are affordable. You get a ton of product in there for a small compact price. You get the stamps, you get the ink, you get adhesives, you get all the consumables, you even get some envelopes. This time I did not, and I'm going to zoom in on my desk here before we go down to the desktop because I forgot to adjust that camera. Hang on a minute. But we were going to take and use the envelopes, Rachel was, and found that she just didn't I just didn't want to use them. So you actually have 3 extra envelopes for your 10 cards, and then you just need to add another 7. I was talking about myself in the third person again. Here we go. Let's go to the desktop. I do that sometimes. So this is the kit, and inside you get this sheet that shows what the 3 different cards are that you make, 3 of each, so 9 altogether, like I said. They're stunning cards. There's purples, kind of like a goldish color in there. Calypso Coral and Pretty in Pink are in there. The purples are Highland Heather and Fresh Freesia, and then you have gold throughout. The color here is Cajun Craze for the ink, because with Calypso Coral, if you deepen it, it tends to take on the color of Cajun Craze, which Cajun Craze is like a nice burnt orange. And so you have a good dark color in there. But because when I cut these supplies up, I didn't see that Calypso or orangish color on all the pieces, I decided to switch out the ink. You wouldn't need to, but I did. So I'm changing the ink, and then I'm adding in some colored cardstock that's the same color as the ink. I'm adding in gold foil as an extra embellishment. I call foil an embellishment once in a while because when you add strips of it, it's just like a stunning piece of like ribbon in a way. So that's the embellishment, is the gold foil. Gold foil, early espresso cardstock, early espresso ink, and then we're using white cardstock and white envelopes because you're gonna need to add some extra envelopes. So turning 9 cards into 30 is very affordable with the directions I'm gonna give you. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit more. Oops, wrong camera. And we're gonna start taking out these pieces from the kit. So I've used up 1/3 of the kit already. So what I have left are card bases for the other 6 cards. I'm gonna take one of each of these out of here. I'm gonna grab no envelopes because we didn't use them, so you can save these envelopes, and they're pretty. I just didn't use them. I ended up not using them. I cut them, and then I said, nope, we're not using them. And then you're gonna need the 4 labels. You actually get an extra set of labels. I love when Stampin' Up! Does that, because when you're stamping on a label, you don't really have 2 sides if they're foiled like this one here. You can't really flip it over if you make a mistake. So they give you an extra set. So I've used 1, 2, and now this is the 3rd set, and this is the extra. Then we're gonna need a sheet of these extra balloon accent pieces. There's a whole bunch of them on here. There's even this gold banner strip thing. So we're gonna put that over there. You get adhesive in this kit, and you get a ton of dimensionals. So you can see I opted to use the dimensionals in the kit this time instead of bringing in my extra. And this is how much I used for 10 cards. So you will not need to add in extra dimensionals if you're gonna replicate the cards that I'm doing. I've also used 1/3 of the embellishments. So this is your sheet of sequins. And I cut out, I think it was 6 of the large ones. And I wanna say it was 5, 6, 7, 8 of the smaller ones. And that should give you enough to embellish. Where did I put that one already? See, they blend in. There it is. I'm gonna put it right here next to the little logo at the top of my grid paper. All right, so we're gonna close that up. This is the clear block that you get with the kit so that you can stamp, but I have already mounted all of the stamps onto ergonomic blocks that you can get through the Stampin' Up! Store. If you buy enough kits, you don't ever have to buy blocks because you get a block with every kit that includes a stamp set. So you get lots of those. And these are the stamps. These are the stamp images that you get with the kit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stamps. If you purchased it in a different language, you would get those. And then you can just kind of like hang on to that sheet and store it with your stamps for future use. This is the color. It's the Ink Spot Cajun Craze, but we're going to substitute early espresso, and I'll just use the full ink pad that looks like this. Okay, so let me put this out of the way because we are not using these. And let me bring in the extra items that you would need. So we're gonna need some early espresso cardstock, like I said. And for 9 of the cards, we're gonna cut them to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, this size here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that with some of my scraps. I believe that this will take up 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and you know what, here, we'll just cut these 2. It'll take up 2 sheets plus an extra. And actually I can't do that one because I want to get a full one out of there too. Before you cut your quarter sheets, you want to cut a half sheet. So let's go ahead and do a half sheet now. And so we're going to cut it in half at 4 1/4 inches. because we have a 10th card. Remember I said 9 of them, you're gonna do a quarter sheet, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but we have a 10th card too, and that one's gonna take up a half a sheet of cardstock. So all together, you're gonna use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and where's that other one? 9, okay? Let's fold this half sheet at 5 1/2 inches. And that's gonna be for our last card. I'm gonna set that aside over here. And then we've got one. Let's see if that's, yep, it is. So I just grabbed my scraps because I am running out of early espresso cardstock. I'm using it up, you guys. And this one, I believe, is a half sheet. We'll just cut that in half. 2 more, and then we'll cut this one in half. So we're gonna have 9 bases, and 9 of them will not open with this sheet, but we're gonna have a different kind of opening on those. So again, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces that are just straight, not folding or anything, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then you need, for your 10th card, if you're doing 1/3 of your kit, 3 cards converted to 10, you're gonna need a piece that's folded, okay? So 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Now, let's do some gold accent pieces, shall we? Hi, Paula. All right, so I'm gonna cut some 1/2-inch strips, and these 1/2-inch strips come from a pack of gold foil. In the gold foil pack, you get 2 sheets that are 12 by 12. So I first started out with a strip that was 12 inches by 5 1/2, and then I cut it into little 1/2-inch strips. And I'm going to turn this over because it's starting to curl. And I could put a Post-it note there too, that sometimes holds it. But now we have, and they don't have to be perfect, but 1/2-inch strips. We have how many so far? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we've got that. We've got 6 so far, so let's put some more. Again, I'm using up scraps, but this is the size that you normally get in a pack. It's 12 by 12, and you get 2 of those. So if you think of it as an accent, an embellishment, pretty edging, then you are getting lots of gold foil. Gold foil is not to be meant typically in big, huge sheets. So, because a little will just add so much to a card. Right now we have, I mean, you can use it in full sheets, but if you're going to, cut out the middle so that you have extra gold foil to use elsewhere. So far I have enough for 6 cards. We need to do 6 more strips. 1, 2, and make sure that your cardstock is right up to the edge when you're cutting so that you have square corners. And I'm using the measuring on this side of my trimmer, but you can use it on this side of your trimmer. I know if you're left-handed, that might work better. I don't know. Actually, you can use your trimmer this way too. I'm not a lefty, but my son is. And I'm guessing he might use it this way. Well, now I'm curious. Shout out to us. Tell us what you do with the Stampin' Up! Trimmer to use it ergonomically for yourself if you are left-hand dominant. I never even asked my son that. Maybe he learned to use it because he was crafting with me. Did you guys ever catch? He did a couple videos with me back in the day. Nick did. And so I didn't even pay attention. I'm going to have to go back to those videos and check it out. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm so excited to share today. That's why I'm just kind of going off in all different directions. We have cardstock next, white cardstock this time. And white cardstock that we sell comes in 8.5 by 11 and 12 by 12. And the 8.5 by 11 you can get in 2 different thicknesses. You can get it in a regular thickness, which is, you know, more bendy and flexible because it's slightly less weight, it's thinner. And then we have what we call the thick cardstock. And this is sturdier, thicker, heavier. It's great for bases. I am going to use thick cardstock, but I'm choosing the 12 by 12. And the reason why is because when you cut your 12 by 12 into the pieces that you need for this card, you're going to use your cardstock a little bit wiser. I'm cutting at 11 inches over here. And so it's 11 by 12. I have this extra 1/2-inch strip to use for some sentiment strips. Then I'm going to score through here at 5.5. So now I've scored at the 5.5 inch mark. This is 11, this is 12. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut at 3 inches, 3 inches, again at 3, and then we have another 3 because 3 times 4 is 12 inches. So we have 4 pieces ready to go. That takes care of 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. And then we have what, 6 left. So let's go ahead and take another sheet. We're going to do something similar where we cut at 11 inches. Not all of these are going to be cut the same way, by the way. We're going to score this one at 5.5. And now we're going to cut this one at 3 1/4. So 3 1/4, 3 1/4, and 3 1/4. Just need 3 of those. Okay, then we have these scraps. These are extra scraps so far. And then we need one more sheet of basic white 12 by 12. If I can get it out of this pack, hang on. It's sticking to the other sheets. And this time we're going to cut at 6 inches. We're going to turn it and we're going to cut at 11 inches. We're going to score, this is a scrap, we'll put that over there. We're going to score at 5.5, and we're going to cut at 3 inches. This gives us, so far, 6 pieces that are 3 inches wide by 11, scored at 5.5 inches, and we have 3 others that are 3 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches. So we have 6 plus 3, that's 9 cards so far. And then from here, you can easily get a piece that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And that is for the 10th card. There's another scrap. And then this piece here, it's a pretty large scrap, but this is what you have left over. So that's the wisest way, I would say, to cut all of your cardstock for this if you're using 12 by 12. If you're using the 8.5 by 11, you will have a little bit extra waste, just so you know. Okay, I'm going to put these things to the back here. Basic white envelopes. If you're doing your whole kit, you would need 7 times 3, 21, and you get 40 in a pack, so you would need basic white envelopes. Okay, I'm going to pull in the 1 inch tall strips, and the rest of this I'm just going to put with my white cardstock stash so I can use them for other things. Okay, so we will be diving into those scraps. Let's take and work with the first card base. We are now going to start cutting our card bases to create our 10 cards. Okay, so we're going to start with the one with the smallest balloons. We'll move to the medium sized balloons, and then we'll go to the biggest balloons. So this one here, and we're going to cut 3 inches off the left. 3 inches off the left is going to make this 8.5 inch wide piece come down to 5.5 inches in this direction and 3 inches in this direction. This piece is ready for a card. This one's almost ready. We're going to turn it and we're going to cut it in half at 2 1/4 inches. These two will be horizontal or landscape card decorations. This one will be a vertical one. It is 3 inches wide, and these are 2.5 or 2 3/4 inches tall. Let's play around. Let's create some cards. Okay, so from this, we're going to need a larger one and 2 skinnier ones. 1, 2. We're going to need some strips. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to need these pieces here. Okay, let's grab our bone folder. This is a helpful tool, not necessary, but you're going to love using it. Once you get it, you're never going to want to put a bone folder down. It just really helps to crease and curl and set adhesive in place. We'll zoom in a little bit here. How's the lighting? Is it okay? I have one light off. I wonder why it seems a little dark. Hang on. How's that? Is that better? Okay. All right, so we're gonna work with the biggest or the widest one first. We're gonna do the same thing with all of these strips, by the way. When I do my kit alternates, I like to keep most of my designs that I do with the kits kind of consistent with all the cards within. Sometimes I veer off and everything's slightly different, but most of the time I like to keep it consistent so that you can easily just memorize doing something to one card, you can do it to the others. We're gonna add these strips to the two sides of our white folded, kind of like these are the main base, I guess, of the cards, because this is where your card opens, right here, right? So that's adhered, and now we're gonna take this piece and we're gonna add that flat. We'll just put adhesive in all four corners, maybe one through the middle. We'll center that and lay that down onto the card. Now, if you have anything extending beyond, like on my first set of cards that I did, I had the gold layers here extending beyond, and so I took and snipped them before I added this layer, but I think I cut these okay this time. Okay, this piece is gonna get added to one of our early espresso bases. So again, 4 in the corner, 1 in the middle. Take, and if you need to, you can use your grid paper or whatever, but you're just gonna center and add that onto the front. We'll put that up here. Let's grab our next couple strips. We'll do the same thing. So now I have a question for you. How many of you get kits from the kits collection? And if so, what has been your favorite kit so far from the kits collection that you have created with? Even if you've done the kit as instructed, as choreographed, let's say, well, that one's a little long, so I'm gonna have to trim that. Well, let's say you got a kit like Pretty Party and you made the cards as instructed, you followed the directions and you still loved it. You can still claim that one. You can still add that in the comments if that is your favorite kit. I can think back to a few that were very, very fun to create with, or I loved entirely. This is probably gonna land in that repertoire of cards. There was one we did last month too that I just thought was so amazing. It had the sunset imagery in it, but there's one with the blues. It was white and blue, white and navy. Trying to think of the name of that. And then there was one with lavender and like a blackberry kind of look. I do love that one too that had the bouquets. Now some of these might still be available. I don't know. Sometimes they're like unavailable for a while and then they come back. So you're just gonna have to check the online store. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm adding these strips about 1/16 of an inch away because we do have about 1/8 of an inch gap for adding. And I'm gonna show you with this one on this side here. You have about 1/8 of an inch gap on the top and bottom if you weren't adding those gold strips. And you could do it that way. I mean, this could be the way your card is done. It's layered just like that without the gold foiling. But I really love it with the gold foiling accents. I just think it adds a lot of pop. We're gonna do one more thing to these two layers, because these two layers, if you look again, in fact, it'll help if we flip it over. Do you see the score lines on the other side? I didn't bend, oh, there we go. I didn't bend them on the score lines, but the score lines still are there because it's a kit. They come that way. They come with creases ready to go. We're gonna incorporate that score line. You can emphasize it by scoring it again at 4 1/4. Then you can move it to 4 1/2, 4 3/4, or you can do it even closer together. You could score it every 1/8 of an inch instead of every 1/4 of an inch. But what this is doing is it's giving it some texture without embossing. So, hi Vanessa. Germany's coming in the house. Yay, thank you so much for joining the live. So yeah, it's embossing without the machine, without embossing folders. You can use the creasing tool, the scoring tool on your trimmer to add lines. And they don't even have to be straight. They can be like diagonal and all that. That's the other kit I was talking about. It's that bouquet kit, and it had kind of like these little bouquet wraps, and then the flowers were on top. That was a fun one. Oh my gosh, so many fun kits have been around. Okay, so now that we have that in there, you can see that it makes that score line that was over here kind of make more sense, right? Because now you have this fun patterning coming off of there. You can kind of see it on the back a little bit better. Let's take and add adhesive. So if you have a kit that you're designing with and you have something on it that you don't like, use that flaw as part of your design, right? Because we can't take the kit back and say, hey, Stampin' Up, can you keep the crease out of these? So, and of course, again, just make the cards as is if you love them the way they are. But if you're planning a party, if you like more contrast and you don't want to have just like, where'd the other ones go? You know, you don't want to just have like a pastel looking card. You can add more contrast with deeper colors, the early espresso. It just really pops it, I think, makes those colors pop. Okay, so these are going to be horizontal or landscape cards. Do the same thing, center it, or you can make it more like heavy on the top or the bottom, or side to side. Here's another piece. How many of you have this kit? That would be another great question. I'm going to scroll back here to see if any of you have listed some kits. The kit with the cake and stands, Susan, yes. Goldfish cracker break, love it. Okay, I'm going to actually go to my computer and see if I can see comments there, because when I scroll on here, sometimes I will highlight them, like Karen's saying hi to everyone, and I accidentally do that once in a while. So, hi Karen. All right, so I'm gonna add this here, and then we're gonna decorate the front of them. Now for these, I'm gonna bring my scraps back in. So those 1-inch high scraps, and there was actually one that was a little bit thinner. I think it was 3/4 of an inch. We'll use that one, and we'll use like a couple of these, and I'll cut them at 2.5, I think. Let me look at my sheet again. 2 and one of them's 2 3/4. I better measure this. 2 3/4, and then the other one was, oh, these are both 2 3/4. Okay, so 2 3/4 and 2 3/4 for these first two, and then the smaller one is going to be, I think, 2 1/4. Yep. So this little strip here, we'll make that 2 1/4. This one is 3/4 inches high, and then these two are 1 inch high. We'll put these scraps back. We'll stamp on these. Let's stamp on these with our early espresso ink. And again, you can use the Cajun Craze that comes in the kit. It totally would work with this, but I just wanted more of a contrast, so I went with early espresso. It's time to celebrate. I'm going to stamp. It's time to celebrate on both of these, like that. And if you are more comfortable, if you have an uneven surface, and I don't have this listed, but if you have an uneven surface on your desktop, I can't get it out. There we go. You can use the Stampin' Pierce mat underneath for photopolymer stamps. It just gives it a nice even surface and gives it a little bit of cushion. Okay, and then we have, and that one I don't have listed, Trisha, sorry, just thought of it. But it's a good tool to have. You don't have to have it though. And there's the congratulations. Okay, let's add these into our cards. We'll close this up so I don't get any ink on it, on the cards. This one's vertical. These two are landscape, horizontal. We're gonna add these all with dimensionals. So I'm gonna flip them all over, grab this big sheet. By the way, we have a garage sale coming up. And when I say we, I'm talking about me and a bunch of us on my demonstrator team that live locally. And we're having this huge sale, and it's literally out of my garage every year, June 17th and 18th. Trisha and I will be there every day. Come say hi. So we are having a sale, and it's huge. We have a food truck. It's like you guys, you travel for it. You come out for this sale because it is huge. Lots of selection each day. All right, we're going to add these. This one, let's see here. We need our extra pieces now. So from this sheet, we're gonna grab some extra balloons. Let's take and use this one first. Put some dimensionals on the back of that. 1, 2. Trisha, how are you doing on packing up your boxes? You getting all your stuff ready for it? So we're gonna add these guys down here as some extra balloons that are in the pile. And then one of these will go towards the middle top area of the card, right there. This one will go on the arched balloon area, and we're gonna add that right about here, so it's flush with the right side of the card where it opens. This one we're gonna add right about here. Okay, so it's kind of overlapping these two. It's about the same distance from where the white stops as how thick this is. So it's about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom and about an inch from the side. So now let's grab the coordinating pieces for those two. We want one that looks like this, and we want one that looks like this. Let's take and put dimensionals on the back sides of these. Now, if you wanted to extend this kit even more and make like a ton of cards, you totally could, because these pieces here could stand alone. Like you could make a bunch of balloon cards, you know, little balloons coming down or coming from the bottom of your card. Seriously, there's so many extra pieces on this kit. It's great. But I decided to just keep them where they were in the design and multiply my kit by cutting the bases into strips, just because they are so pretty. Each and every section of these cards is stunning. This one goes up here and connects right there. And then the last thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of sparkle onto one of the cards. So we're gonna take this one here, because it's a little more plain Jane, and we're gonna add some of these sequins. So I'll grab the Take Your Pick tool. We'll do a large up here with a small one next to it, kind of at an angle. And then we'll do another small one down in here. Oops, just to kind of frame in and add a little bit more sparkle to that section. So those, oh, wait, one more thing. I wanna checking my finished ones. Okay, those are done. Those are done, so we're gonna set those over here, bring those back in at the end. Now, on to the next one. So we're gonna take another card base from the kit. We're moving on to the medium-sized balloons. Take a plane, Karen, fly out here. So we're gonna take this one, and we're gonna do something similar, but this time in the directions it will say, because you're looking at it like this, cut off the top 3 inches. So we're cutting off the top 3 inches instead of the left 3 inches, because our card, literally, you would hold it like this if you were holding it straight, right? So instead of the left, it's the top. And then take this piece and cut it in half. Same pattern that we did before. And now you have your 3 different bases. We've turned one card into 3. The first card was into 3, the second card is into 3, and the fourth card is going to be turned into 4. So let's do the same thing we did earlier, where we need one of these and 2 of these. And we need some bases, 1, 2, 3. And then we need some strips. And I'm going to flip them over because we're just going to add adhesive to them anyways. 4, 5, and 6. And we will be using these medium-sized balloons here. So let's grab them. We're ironically keeping all the pieces that you would use on those finished cards per the choreographed instructions with the cards that we're doing alternates with. They're all staying paired up the same way. We're just cutting. Okay, so let's grab that bone folder and let's add some strips. Oops, got a little bit of scrap on there. Okay, like that. Who's coming to the sale? Wink of Stella. I know, you could really fancy it up, Susan. I mean, you could add Wink of Stella, you could add the new shimmer pens. You could make these things so gold that you have to wear sunglasses when you look at them because they're already so sparkly. So I'm thinking if you have a kiddo that loves celebrating and you love holding parties and you want to invite 30 people, that you could literally turn these all into party invites. You'd have 30 party invites ready to go. They all would look slightly different, but they have the same similar shape on the inside. You could print off your invitation from your computer and you can tape it on the inside, glue it on the inside, adhere it on the inside. And you'd have all these great pastel balloon themed party invites ready to go. I'm just going to put adhesive on all of these. Another thing is, you know, if this is totally floating your boat, personally, you love these cards, these would be great for just making 30 birthday cards. 30 cards to celebrate anything, because they all say like celebration. I mean, there are some stamps in there that say birthday wishes, but you don't have to opt to use the birthday ones. You can make them all congrats cards. Maybe you have some people that are graduating from high school, college, you know, grad school. You can, maybe somebody's retiring and you're throwing a retirement party. Any kind of party, festive stuff here. Or maybe you have a wedding that has more of a balloon theme going on in the decorations. You've got lots of cards ready to go. You can just change the sentiments to work with what you want. You could turn these all into thank you cards. Let's say you had your own party recently and you wanted to thank everybody for coming. So just change the sentiment to thank you. But they are so, so pretty. I love them. Pretty party, hence the name. Okay, one more trim, and I think we're ready to add the layers. That one had just tiny little sliver amounts there. Okay, so this is the widest. That one's gonna go with the widest piece, the 3-inch piece. These are both vertical, and the widest one is going to become a landscape or horizontal card. If you're going to be using a different kind of adhesive, I recommend that you add your glue. Let's say you're using a multi-purpose liquid glue. I recommend that you use your glue so that it's not just on the foil, on the surface of the foil, because it's slippery on the foil. I mean, you can glue onto foil, but move your adhesive more towards the middle so that that glue would be connecting more so towards the paper on paper kind of feel. You get less of a slippery slide kind of issue. And we don't want to have glue sticking to our foil. When you get adhesive on the foil, it's really hard to get off. This one is going to go this direction. Just make sure that it's opening the right way when you start decorating it. We'll add our adhesive. But yeah, like seal adhesive is pretty good with foil. It sticks right away. Okay, so that one's going this way. These two are going this way. And then we have these extra balloons. So one of the balloons, I'm going to go ahead, or one of the sets of balloons, I should say, I'm going to go ahead and add that with dimensionals now. So seriously, you don't use a lot of dimensionals on these cards, do you? You can already tell there's hardly any on here. This one I'm going to add right up to that gold edge with about 1/4 inch on the left, right here. Oh, we can put these down onto our bases too. Sorry, forgot about that. Let's get these all onto bases. And then we want to cut our, or stamp our sentiment strips. You know what I forgot to do on these? Because I go fast on these videos. I forgot to do that technique. Let's see. Oh, you know what? It didn't bond quite yet. Let's do it with this one at least. Okay, let's see. I'm going to have to hold it off the trimmer a bit when I do this because it's already sticky. I'm going to have to clean up my trimmer. Yeah, I forgot to do the little faux embossing, right? Whoopsie. Okay, that one's good. Not bad. Let's get that back on here. That one goes on this one. And we can press a little harder this time. Obviously, I didn't press hard enough. But yeah, when you go fast in a video, you kind of want to be able to show it all and you forget. So let's see if we can peel this one back. Oh, good. I didn't press that one hard either. Yeah, maybe that side I did. It happens in pretty much all my videos where I make a mistake, but let's correct it, shall we? None of you guys make mistakes, right? Because you go slower. So we never make mistakes. Yes, we do. And you know what? When we make mistakes in a live, it just kind of helps show you what you can do. In other words, like, don't press anything down right away. Press everything at the last minute so that you don't have anything bond quickly. Or not at the last minute, but at the end. Okay, there we have our little ribbed looking embossed pieces there. Okay, flip this one over, add adhesive here. And now we'll add them to our card bases. Mistakes are learning opportunities. I love that phrase. Learning opportunities, ways to fix things. We can do it. We can always fix a boo-boo because we're crafters. That's our superpower. This one's gonna go like this. Okay, now let's work on the sentiments. So the sentiments for these are going to also come from the scraps. I'm gonna pull in those 1-inch scraps again, and we are now going to cut 2 pieces to be 2 1/4 inches wide and 1 to be 2 3/4 inches. So we really only need 1 of these strips. So 2 1/4, 2 1/4, and then the first one I did was 2 3/4. So we have smaller ones and we have a wider one. We'll keep these in case we need them again, which we won't. But that's how many you have left if you want to. This is like extra strips for other cards in the future or whatever. Let's stamp on these pieces. Let's bring our ink back in. And might as well bring our Stampin' Pierce net back in because we can see it against the dark background pretty well. And we will stamp this one with the one we just used. It is the one that says it's time to celebrate. So this would be great for invites, for wishing somebody a happy celebration that they've already had. And then we also have a couple stamps that say birthday. We'll stamp that one at the top and at the top. Clear stamps are amazing, aren't they? And then we have one that says wishes. So far you've seen 4 of the stamps. The birthday, the wishes, the or it's time to celebrate, and the one that says congratulations. We'll bring in the 5th and last stamp in just a second. Let's take these pieces and we'll add them to the cards. This one is gonna get added with dimensionals. Dimensionals. I always lose my dimensionals and they're right in front of me. Here they are. We're gonna add this one in the upper right corner of this piece. Okay, so it opens like that. We're gonna add that right in this corner like this. And then we'll take this balloon and we'll add that underneath. So we'll just tuck that one under here like that. You know what? I'm going to trim this up a little bit because I want to tuck it further. I'll tuck it just a little bit further so that this is still within that foil area. So there's that one. And then we're going to do, oh yeah, that's the ones where, okay, awesome. So we have 2 more and we're gonna add some stamping before we add these pieces on here. So birthday wishes, we're gonna open these up and we're gonna stamp without getting the ink because I really pressed hard into my pad. Either with the firm foam pads, you either have to like ink hard and stamp lightly or ink lightly and stamp hard. And I prefer to ink lightly and stamp hard, but I didn't do that this time. We'll clean that up for the next card. Okay, these 2, see I got smudges already because I had stamp blocks that were dirty. We're gonna go ahead and add these with dimensionals. All the sentiments are added with dimensionals. That's really the only place where you use your dimensionals, and you're going to have plenty of them. These are going to get added down here like that and like that. And that's pretty much it on those two cards. They've got stamping on the inside. They have the birthday wishes on the outside, but lots of gold flecking, foiling. Really pretty, right? So those are the next three. Okay. This is not a subscription kit. I did see someone comment on that. This is a kit that is in the Kits collection. You do not have to wait for it. You do not have to be a subscriber for Kits collection kits. With Paper Pumpkin kits, you do have to be a subscriber, and you have to be a subscriber in order to purchase like refills and add-ons. So anything Paper Pumpkin related is only available for the Paper Pumpkin subscribers. We're going to go ahead and add these strips onto these pieces, these last three. So Paper Pumpkin, I do alternates with those, and I do alternates with the Kits collection kit. And the Kits collection kit is just available in the online store. So you just go to shop and you can look at all the different kits. You can see them before you buy. They're similar, but they're not a subscription. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so this one's called Pretty Party. And we're doing the same pattern on every single card. So 1/16 of an inch away with the foil strips. You can even make these foil strips skinnier or wider, depending on your comfort level of adding them or, you know, putting them underneath a layer. These could definitely be like even 1/8 of an inch if you really have some nice fine motor skills. And then you can save on your foil and use it for even more stuff. Okay, so we have our bases. Let's go ahead and bring those in too. And then we will cut our last card base from the kit and add that to these layers. And we'll finish up these cards, do the last 4 designs. So we're gonna make 4 cards instead of 3 with these remaining pieces. We'll just center each of those. 1, 2, so these are the 2 skinnier ones. And this is the wider one, because we're going to cut our card base the same way. Oh, actually, no, we're not. So the first 2, we cut the same way, where it's one cut and then the other cut goes perpendicular to that. This one is all going to have vertical cuts in the same direction. We're going to start by cutting the large balloon pattern base paper with a vertical cut from the left that is 3 inches. Okay, so this is where our 3 inches come from the card here, because I felt like that really made the most of these 2 little balloon images. And then the other one is just going to get cut in half at 2 3/4 inches. We're going to use this score line to do our extra 1/4 inch score lines. You can do it from either direction, or you could do it all the way across. I just did it on one side. So there we have all of those lines on there. You can probably see them better from the back side. There they are. And our 4th card uses this piece and this piece. These 3 cards first that we're going to do use our foiled label pieces. This one's going to go with this card here. All right, so let's take and move that one out of the way. Let's go ahead and add these. We have a lot more sequins left. We're going to be using those on the remaining cards. All right. Let me move this so I can see what I'm doing here. All right, so for this wider one, we're going to set that right on here. The skinnier ones, Get off of my bone folder. Oh no, I've got some sequins. There we go. That one's gonna go here. And we do make a little bit of a change here where this one, even though it's wider, is not unique. The one that's gonna be unique is gonna be the pink one here. And I think I just chose that because I thought that the big purple balloon, well, you could do it to either one. You could go like this, where you have these two coming off of these two, and then this one over here. In fact, maybe I'll do that and I'll show you the difference between them when I'm done, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and pair them up like that. The curvy ones are gonna go here. Early espresso. See, when you watch the video, you get more than just what I show in the blog post. So if you're, coming because you saw the blog post, make sure that you're always showing up for videos because there's always a slight change that happens. Plus, you get to laugh at Rachel's mistakes. All right, so we're doing birthday on those, and then we're doing It's Time to Celebrate on this larger piece, like that. Then we'll bring in the word wishes, and we'll stamp that. Oh, look at, Rachel made a boo-boo. We'll stamp that. It's because she was going fast. Here and here. You guys probably caught it too. Like if you watch the video again, where was it that Rachel made that mistake? On the inside of this other card, I do have balloons. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp balloons right in here. When all the stamping is done, we'll close up this pad. We'll check our hands and we'll wash our hands. Okay, these get added with dimensionals, but two of them are a little unique. This one I'm gonna go ahead and do 3 across. These two, I'm gonna just put dimensionals on the ends and peel up the backings. On these two, I'm gonna add adhesive here, glue or seal. We're gonna connect so that this flat edge here is flush with the flat edge of the patterned paper, not with the foil. I wanna see that whole foil there. So that, and then this one will go right across the middle here. And the reason why I did it differently on my other cards is because I think I enjoyed having this kind of come off the two sides. But if you do it this way, you've got your label flush with your edges here too. So you can choose either way. Let's do some decorating with some sequins. We're gonna use small sequins here, as if it's like a little brad or a nail or something that's holding that sign in place. And then we'll do a small one in the upper corner of this one. And I did 2 large ones. I did one here against the brown because it really pops, doesn't it? That brown cardstock. And I did another one up here. So those are 3 more cards. Your last card, oops, let's put those over here. Your last card that you can make, so you can make 10, is using this huge balloon that I did not want to cut into different sections to layer onto the other 3. So I used it alone because it's huge. This piece is gonna go on the inside of your card and you can stamp on it or not. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it blank. And that's gonna fit in here. And then on the front of the card, we're gonna add this balloon and we're adding it flat. And I'm just gonna make sure that that's right up to the edge here. Like that. Okay, so it's flush with the right edge of the card. These two are going to, oh, I gotta stamp one more thing. Sorry, I thought I was done stamping. We have one more sentiment. We're gonna stamp congratulations towards the end of this. So the left edge, and I just put my finger in there. All right, cleaning up. I'm doing 10 cards in one video, you guys. All right, so this one's gonna get added with seal to to this gold piece, but I am going to do a little bit of a curl there on the end and attach here. You can see that little bit of a curl. I'm going to emphasize it a little bit more. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to curl the end of this a bit so that we have that kind of flared look on the end. Then we're going to add adhesive here and a dimensional here. And we still haven't even used half the sheet. Like, you can use this for your other cards and you'll be good. No extra dimensionals needed for this. This is going to get added here, and then we have some sequins left. And for those sequins, oh, one of my cards is missing sequins, I think. I accidentally left off sequins somewhere. Okay, that's okay. I'll show you the finished ones that I created for the video too, or for the blog post. We'll do 2 here, and we're going to do a big one here, like that. So see, one card is missing a set. All right. Anyways, let's go and compare. So here's one card. Okay, so that's where I changed it up. You can see I did different things there. And the pink one, for my finished ones that I did before the video, I put that straight rectangular sentiment on it. So let's look at those 3 all at once. How does that sound? So there's the equivalent to it as far as the sentiment strip. And then these are the other 2. Okay, so no missing sequins there. So those are those cards. Then we did birthday wishes, birthday wishes. Ah, here it is. Celebrate. There's where they go. Good thing we caught that. Okay, so we need sequins on this card, and I put them kind of in this area here, like that. We did it. So there's that one. And then there's the last few. So we have the little arch of balloons, like that. We have these congratulation ones, and the It's Time to Celebrate cards. So, so far I've done 2/3 of my kit. If I did this with my last 3, or my last third of supplies, I could get literally 30 cards. This is 10, 20, I've got 20 done. It's time for a party. That was fun. Oh my gosh. I had so much fun sharing that. Just want to mention, because I believe I got a text. I haven't read the whole thing yet, Ashley, but I want to mention that Ashley from the Country Hive, Ashley and James, have released a new product. I'm just going to get this off here because it's kind of dirty, because I've used it a lot. Okay, do you have the Stampin' Positioner, the new Stampin' Positioner? Okay, I'm going to show you what they have created, you guys. This is so cool. I think I have it in here correctly. I don't know. I'm still learning it. Maybe this goes here. Nope, this goes here. Hang on, you'll see in just a second. All right. So it is a very low maintenance type of holder. Like it holds it like this, right? It's like this tiny little rectangle, you guys. It barely takes up any space, but it holds everything upright. And where I put it, let's see if I can turn my camera. Oops, other way. Where I've been storing it is right here, next to my crafting space. It is right there near my window, ready to go. And it looks so pretty because it looks like the positioner. It's not covered up. It's not inside a drawer. It's my positioner and the clear little plasticky things on top. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful to look at like that. So just wanted to point that out, that the Country Hive has made those available. If not today, they will soon. Ashley, I hope I shared the right thing at the right time. I think that's what your text was about. And I just also want to mention that she's the one that, her company is the one that makes these cute little glue holders. And I have a ton of other things from her too that I've shared with you before, the hex trays, and yeah, lots of goodness. Okay, let's talk about ordering. If you're interested in ordering these products, if you like the Pretty Party Kit, you want to get them, go to the online store. There's a link to shop. You can go to my website to shop. You can click in the video below, but there's always a shop button linked somewhere, and it'll go to my online store. You can click on those links and shop and purchase what you need. If you're looking for particular supplies, you can go to the blog post that's connected to this video, or you can just scroll down to the description, and those links should take you to what you can buy, okay? When you do purchase from me, you do earn loyalty reward points and all-star videos if your order is $50 US or more. And speaking of US, I can only take orders from those of you that live in the US. If you are a demonstrator, order from yourself. If you live outside the US, hopefully you have a demonstrator in your area. And if you have a demonstrator and you live in the US, shop from them, give them some love. I love sharing, and so don't ever feel guilty about shopping through another if you're watching my videos. I just enjoy sharing. I do want to also mention that the Berry Botanical vellum is available for $5. This is the product of the month. I just got it. I haven't created with it yet. Hopefully I will. But if you just Google Berry Botanical Vellum images, you're going to see lots of ideas that people have already shared with it, because there's a lot of us out there that love to create and share. I also want to mention that if you are in the market for the new In Color ink pads, these are the new magnetic In Color ink pads. If you're in the market for them and they're still on your wish list and you haven't purchased them yet, you can get them for free. It's a $63 value in the US if you purchase the starter kit. Purchase the starter kit and these will be your freebie. Now let's say you already have these. Let's say you're like, oh my gosh, I already got them the first day that they were available on May 5th. Well, then you can choose $35 worth of product instead. So there's two different options for anybody purchasing the starter kit this month. And I'll tell you, and those of you that are demonstrators can attest to this, it is fun being on the demonstrator side of things. I also want to point out that I have pins available, super cute little pins. We have ink pads, the trimmer, and we have the positioner with my little logo butterfly on it available in my logo merchandise for sale. So you can purchase those. Other news, new kits release every month, new kits collection kits. So every month I try to share some alternates with one of the new kits. We usually have 2, sometimes have 3 that release every month. I can't do them all, not enough time in the day. But hopefully you'll tune in again. Please subscribe to my channel, my blog posts, so that you know when I'm going to be sharing those. I think I mentioned it all. That's good. I'm going to show you the calendar that is linked in my video. If you want to come and join us for upcoming lives, just click on the calendar that's in the description of the video and you can see when I'm going live again in the future. We have a busy week starting today, so I will not be going live until next Wednesday, but I hope you can join me then. In the meantime, thank you all for coming. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for sharing the video. Thanks for being a member. And thank you so much, Trisha, for being here with me today. I appreciate and love you so much. Take care, everybody. And now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.